Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys a question. Does leaks make a big deal to you guys? Reason why I'm talking about this is because I was thinking about a few months back when they was talking about uh, you know how somebody hacked in Insomniac got hacked into, and it showed some of the gameplay of Wolverine, and then it showed how much money they spent on some of the stuff and some of the future projects that's coming out and all that. And I'm like, and the reason why I'm dropping this is because this is not a very long video. I've been thinking about this too, and you remember when Last of Us Two had somebody leaked a bunch of gameplay out? And I went to work and somebody told me, I said, really? They said, yeah. I said, man, I've been ready for that game, man. I said, I'm all jacked up to play that game, buddy. I said, because I had no idea what I was going to get. And they told me. And I was like, huh? They said, yeah, man, Joe gets killed, man. He's not even in the game very long. He get killed right off the rip. I go, what? And it freaked me out, right? So I had an attitude for a while. I was like, damn, man, that sucks 'cause I like Joe. Everybody loved Joe. I'm getting to the point with this. So I text my friend Chuck, and Chuck's like, I don't care about that, man. He said, I'm buying the game. Chuck's like, he goes, I'm buying the game, man, because he was jacked up to play the game. And he's like, yeah, it kind of sucks. He was like, yeah, it sucks. Joe's dead and all that. He said, but I'm a still, he said, it doesn't bother me. I'm still get the game. And I think Chuck did not watch the leaks. So I did watch the leaks. I was like, I'll watch the leaks. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I watched the leaks and I was like, I decided not to buy the game because I heard a lot of other different stories about the game. So, and here's where it gets interesting now. So, I had the game pre-ordered on Amazon, so it was already locked, dead set. But on Amazon, you have time to cancel. So now if it's shipped and you try to cancel, yeah, you stuck. You gotta wait before that thing hits shipped, because it's got that line that goes across and it says when you hit the ship part, you can't do nothing. So I canceled it, and so I was so jacked up to play that game, and I was like, yeah, man, because I love that first game. That first game was like, wow. So anyway, I was like, so I got like I think it was a week before it was ready to go. And I come home and they said, uh, my phone, all the stuff that you look at, and you always look at it on your phone, everything you read, because I read stuff like on nutrition and good living habits, and it's just all over the place. Video games and movies and all that. So your phone keeps, to me, it just has it's like a brain. And there was Last of Us 2, and I was sitting there going, man, I don't know, man. I still want to buy that. I still want to buy that game, man. So I got back on Amazon. I hit click, buy. I bought the game. And that game, when I did get it, it was exhausting. It exhausted me. Like that game exhausted me. It was just the way the story was. I wasn't happy about Joel being killed. I did not like that Abby chick at all. And there was just elements in that. I wanted my Ellie to be just a straight chick, and she wasn't. And they do all this in this game, and I'm playing this game, not liking a lot of stuff in there, but I'm just steady playing this game. You know what I mean? And then that game is the game that actually was the tipping point of the game. That game was the tipping point of me looking back. I enjoyed that game, but it made me look back. It made me look back at all the older games. But it just set in the back of my mind. I never really thought about it. So anyway, I played that game, and I have to say that game, it was a good game. It wasn't the first game, but it was a good game. And it won Game of the Year. And I'm going to tell you why that game won Game of the Year. Because it made so many people mad. It was it was all over YouTube. And it showed people actually crying. And just, people were playing that game, especially when Ellie had to make a decision to kill her and she decided not to kill her. She went through all that. And at the end, when she had Abby, where she could kill Abby, she let her go. and everybody, it was chicks crying, and there was dudes that was playing. A lot of dudes wasn't crying, but it was all over. That game sucked so many people in, and yet it got leaked. So what I'm saying is that leak didn't do diddly for Last of Us 2. Not diddly. Not only did it not do diddly for Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2 made bank. It caused a stir. It just was just so much about that game affected everybody. It affected the old Last of Us fans. It drawed in a new bunch of Last of Us people, because people in all this new stuff they're trying to incorporate. And that was the game that actually, to me, I don't say it started, but I think that's the game that actually inserted a lot of stuff that we're starting to see in games. I'm hoping that all the games are that way, but I told you guys, the only game I'm buying is Astrobot. That's the only game for 2024, Astrobot. And then next year, Lord willing, next year I'll get to, Metroid Prime 4. But all the other games, I'm not saying there ain't no new games coming out, but I'm not going to play them. And let's just say, for instance, I told you guys this before, and I'm going to get back to these leaks. Let's just say that new Star Wars game is an awesome game, which I don't know if it's going to be. But let's say it is an awesome game. And I think that Wufan, that thing that looks like that new game that everybody's talking about, Wufan or whatever it's called, that game does look good. Let's say you don't buy that game. But let's say this game is just flipping. Those two games are just flipping bad to the bone. I'm talking flat. You never know. Right? Then you don't buy the game. You don't want the game, right? But then a year and a half goes by, almost 2. Those games will not be $70. They will be $40 or $30 because they're going to want to sell them. They want to keep making money off those games. So there's ways to get these new games. You just have to wait, especially if you got a vast library of backlog games you haven't played. But back to these leaks. Leaks don't really make a big difference to me. I hear people talking about leaks, but I don't see how it's going to affect anything. Let me ask you this. Do you think those leaks of the Wolverine game that everybody's supposed to be jacked up for, it's not going to be out till probably 2026? Do you think that that's going to affect the sales of that game? It's not going to affect the sales of that game. You can leak that whole damn game. It's not going to bother people because people still want to play it. It didn't bother me with the Last of Us 2 because I still wanted to play the game. I decided not to play the game. I was mad about what happened to Joe, and then last minute, the week before it released, I bought it anyway. Ended up winning Game of the Year. Didn't affect the sales at all. It might have, but I don't think it did. Because I think that game made bank when it first got launched, and I think it made bank later on because they kept releasing it on sales and sales and sales. So, if you make a game that costs $300 million and then the game makes $250 million, they made a profit. But then if you resell if you sell the game later on for sale, you're already profited. Then if you sell it on sale, the company's still making money off the sale. So you're still making money. So overall, man, leaks, I never did make a big deal out of leaks. I'm not that channel anyway, but there's a lot of YouTubers like, oh, did you hear that? What's your name got hiked into so-and-so and they revealed this and let me tell you. Now, listen to this. And I'm just sitting there going like, really? Dude, it's not going to affect the sales. It's just not. It's not going to affect the sales. It's not going to affect anything. I don't think so. The only thing it affects is the company's got to try to stop that whoever hacked into their system leaking out all their, their financials and all that stuff. Man, I really don't care about the financials. I really don't. Just give me a good game, and I don't know why. There's YouTubers that get into that and they do get the views, but I just don't know how I'm supposed to be so wrapped up in knowing the financials of a company and what they did and what they said and how they was going to make this game and they decided not to make this game. Yeah, I get it. It's informative, But at the end of the day, do you really think that those leaks is going to affect? I just don't think it affects at the end of the day. I think that, when Last of Us 2 had their leak, Sony had YouTube shut a lot of stuff down. They couldn't get it all, but they shut it down. As soon as they got up, they got shut down. As soon as they got up, they got shut down. So, because at the end of the day, they got to make money. So I was just, when I hear about, nothing to the YouTubers when they talk about leaks of a game and they said that this game was supposed to do this and this game had this and they scrapped this game because of this and all that. Yeah, I guess it's informative, but leaks just don't mean that much to me at the end of the day because I just don't think it's going to affect the sales of the game. If you truly, and I'm just saying truly, want to play a game and you truly want that game and it's been leaked, I personally think you're still going to buy the game because you still want to play the game. You want to find out for yourself. You can't just look at this screen and go, oh, wow, that game's been leaked. And wow, but it does look good, but I guess I won't buy it. No, you're not going to buy it. You're still going to buy it because you want to get into the game. You want to feel the game. Like video games, man, you feel like there are some games, man, you feel like you're, when I played Last of Us and Uncharted and, Tomb Raider, I love those games because I feel like I'm, BioShock and all those. I love those games. I can watch people play those games on a complete walkthrough, which I don't, but I watch some walkthroughs, but I just don't just watch a whole walkthrough. I'll watch some walkthroughs, but now there is I follow this guy named Radbrad. I like his walkthroughs. I'll be in the gym in this gym room working out and I'll play it on my surround sound system in the back because he plays games that there's some games I just don't want to play. So I like hearing him talk and hearing him play the game in the background. But you guys think that leaks really make that big a difference? Because at the end of the day, I just don't think it's going to affect the sales of that game. I really don't. I think if you really want to play that game, if you're really into that game, you're not going to give a crap about the leaks because you might be one of those people to be like, I'm not watching the leaks. I'm not interested in the leaks. I can't. I'm going to wait till the game comes out. And if it's on YouTube and it's plastered all over YouTube or something like that, I'm just not going to click on it because I don't want to see all that stuff because I want to play the game for myself. And there are some people out there that will do that. They'll be like, I'm not watching it. I don't care. Yeah, but you need, no, man, I don't want to watch it. When they showed, let's just say E3's not around. When they showed that new game was coming out in E3, that's all I remember of it, and that's all I want to see. I don't want to get on YouTube and look at leaks of the game and all that. I'll just wait. Because if they're in the middle of making the game, they could take some of that crap out and insert something else in there because the game's not complete. Or they could say something like this. Well, our game got leaked. And they did leak that one section. When we say we was going to release this? Well, we're going to release it in 2026. So we said June of 2026? They go, yeah. Well, how about we go December of 2026? Now, we could change some stuff up since they leaked all that. They have the power to do all that because the game is not complete. Companies are not dumb. They have a backup system, I just think. Anyway, God bless, take care, and we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.